cooking here. Hope everybody's doing well. And we'll wait for Amazon. And we'll go live over there. And that's all it takes. We are live. Okay. Yeah, so today is going to be an odds and ends day because I got a lot of stuff that's been accumulating, and it's not great stuff. But these things actually do well as like those extras channel affiliate link kind of things. So we've got a remote control here. We've got a number pad that doubles as a Bluetooth thing. It's a calculator. It's a long story. But there's enough here to do a little bit of recording for my extras channel and for Amazon. And then the stuff will get better as we work our way through the session here. So at the end, what do I got on the list here? So we've got this universal remote control. We have the number pad calculator thing. It's actually kind of a neat concept because it's a Bluetooth number pad, but then you can turn it into a calculator. So you got two functions on this one. Not great, but it does two things. And then we have a nice Logitech charger thing that I was playing with. So we'll be looking at this in a little bit. And after that, we're going to unbox an underwater drone. Doesn't that sound exciting? So we're not going to test the drone because I have no body of water in which to put it in at this moment. But it's getting warmer here, so we will likely begin doing all of that. So let me say hello to some folks here. Joe Tyson is first out of the gate from Apex, North Carolina. Michael Kidd in Vegas. I miss Vegas. I go to Vegas every year, except this year. I didn't go this year. Zosu is here. Martin is here. Romerick is here. Cedar Lake is here. William Wilkinson is here. The usual crowd. Yeah, so this is not going to be exciting, okay? Maybe when we get to the underwater drone, that'll get more exciting. But I've got a couple of things that I've got to queue up real quick. I've got some video B-roll of this remote control in action. These are going to be really quick shoots, so nothing too strenuous here. Just bear with me for 1 second here. Name, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do first is the remote, and I've got B-roll that I've got to. I never actually put it into this thing here, so let me go load the B-roll in. So let's upload from albums. So we're going to do, excuse me, we're going to do these two things first, get these out of the way, and then it'll get more interesting. All right, hit done there. Oops, shoot, no. Deselect. Hopefully it's not uploading everything. Oh no, hang on. Everything's so complicated. I'm just trying to send the video into my thing over there. Yeah, Michael Kidd's got a great comment here. That's true. I'm always questioning the wisdom of doing these things live because I do get distracted. YouTube put a lot of shiny objects in front of me. NC Strev here is from Maine. Hello. Zosu. Oh, send me a link to those, Zosu, because I've been on the lookout for those. I know that there was going to be I know that that Mocha, who was it? Not Action Tech. Go Coax had some in the works, but if there's one that actually has a 2.5 gigabit network adapter, I am interested in those. Is that the Kiwi ones? Is that what the ones you're looking at? 150 bucks? If that's the case, I'll pick up a couple. So we'll see what happens. Joe Tyson said, whatever happened with the... So we did a review of the wall clock. You can see that on the YouTube channel. So that did make it up. And I sold it already. In fact, I shipped it out. Somebody bought it from me. Shoot, what is going on with this thing? So yeah, definitely check it out because it came out pretty nicely there. And yeah, the Action Tech ones are expensive. So because what I'm looking at here is the Kiwi bonded Mocha 2.5 with a 2.5 gig port on it. And it looks like you can get a pair of those for 150 bucks. So that might be a fun one to pick up. Maybe we'll do that. That'd actually be a kind of a fun live stream. And Stuart says, my Macs could use some retro brighting. They sure can. Yeah, this is my old 2GS. What's neat is that it hasn't gotten any worse than what it's at. And actually, this one looks worse than this one does. And we do have to do some servicing on that 2GS because I got to pull the battery out of it before it leaks all over the place. All right, so let me just go and try to get this B-roll uploaded here before I go too much further here. So I took some B-roll of the remote control there a minute ago, or a little while ago. Okay, so do this. Okay, then I hit done. Okay, there we go. All right, so those are going to upload real quick. And we'll get going there. And we got a bunch of people popping into the Amazon chat, so say hello if you want to know what we're up to here. And we'll figure that out. Paul Bakewell is here. And the Echo Auto, I need to look at that because I've been having a few people ask me about it. I don't know. I mean, you have to tell me what you think the utility of it is, because I have my phone in the car with me, so I have essentially all of the major voice things that I can access, right? So I don't know. I would just like to know, like, what utility it might have. I'm not being critical of your suggestion. I'm just curious, because I'm trying to find the use case that would make sense. Because I'm just using the Apple one in the car. I don't want to set up all of your stuff there. All right. Heffen wants to know, have I seen the Pi Packin' retro gaming thing? I have not seen that. The Pi Packer. What is that? Is that like a, let's see, it's a free cloud, oh, it's a free cloud platform. Okay. I think you're going to see a lot of this kind of stuff. You know, they're going to license certain games, and then I guess you got an option to load it in. You know, what I look for, especially in the retro world right now with all these Kickstarters, is that I would say a vast majority of the ones that I've contributed to have turned out not to come to fruition, and I've lost money. So I've been really cautious about waiting until these things are shipping products. It looks interesting because it's a cloud-based thing. But, you know, you could replicate that experience, because what it is you can load the game in the cloud and then people can play with you. And if you wanted to replicate that experience right now, if you go out and look for, what's the name of that? Let me see what the name of that thing is again. I'm just, let's see. Why am I, oh, Parsec. If you go out and look for Parsec, what's cool about Parsec is that you can do exactly that with anything. And so you can have people share your stream. I've done this before. I mean, we should probably play around with that a little bit. That'd be a fun live stream topic. So you can have people stream your computer output, and then their game controller pops up as another game controller on your computer, even though they're remote. So you kind of act like the server. And you can run RetroArch, for example, on your computer at home, and then people can stream off of your computer. And I think there's some NetPlay built into it also. So it's worth that's worth playing with if you really wanted to have some friends do some retro gaming with you. I did that with a friend of mine. It worked out really well. Fernando is here. Hello. All right. So let me do this one first because I've got my footage loaded up. I'm just going to grab it off my server. And I'm feeling fine. Nothing wrong with me, but my allergies are starting to kick in. I can feel it. Because everything, we have a beautiful day here. It's been really hard to get motivated to come down into the basement today because it is really nice out. I'm just going to add these two videos to my repertoire here. So what I've got is, I'll do this one, and then I've got another one. So we have this one where I was testing it earlier, so I can turn on the TV. I'm just looking at my B-roll here. And you can see what we're going to use. And that's just to kind of show the navigation of the remote. Like I said, this is not exciting, okay? And then I've got another one here where I'm demoing the pause and the fast forward and the rewind thing there. Nothing exciting, but it works. So, and actually this turned out to be a really helpful thing because my Roku TV's remote died. And this was up on the Amazon Vine program. It's like $13. So, I mean, it's not perfect. It's the universal remote. that's shaped like a Roku. It works with any TV. Michael Kidd got resolution to that patch issue, or the switch problem, the security problem they had. 2.5 months it took them to fix it. Oh my gosh. I did bring it up with them. I never heard back from them, but I wonder if that helped resolve it. Maybe I don't think I have the switch that you had, so I can't really test that. And William is also sneezing his head off for some reason. Yeah, I think it's just everything's blooming right now. I heard from my brother last night, and if you go on his Facebook page for the maple syrup, he was telling me that the trees are like, everything's blooming, so his sapping season is over now. He can't pull any more sap out of the trees, but everything is just like exploding because we're actually having kind of a real spring this year. It hasn't been that chilly so far in April, so I think that's everything's starting to bloom a lot faster because I'm feeling it today. Like my head feels a little stuffy. All right, so we're going to do a quick recording of this, and this is going to be a real quick one. And this will be on the Extras channel, and then we'll run it on Amazon too. And I'm just going to go and make these things auto restart after transition. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to start recording. If you're watching on Amazon or anywhere else, just know that when I record videos, we often have a couple takes sometimes to go through things. So that's how we're going to do this. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at the Philips remote control for Roku TVs. Actually, it's not for just Roku. What do they call this thing? This is called the, let me find the name of it. I was looking on my list of to-dos here. This is a Philips, because it's a universal remote that works with Roku. Universal remote control / Roku. Yeah, it's a universal remote that works with Roku. I think that's the best way to put this. And Jan Parker, thanks for your chat. Unfortunately, I am not Amazon. I am an independent content creator, so you're going to have to get in touch with customer service about that. I just have a chat on the Amazon thing here that came through about. This happens sometimes. People will think that I work for Amazon, which unfortunately I do not. But I do stream on the platform. All right, let's try this again. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a universal remote control from Philips that works with just about any TV, but it's also Roku compatible. They say this will work with any of the Rokus that's not a Roku stick, because those Roku sticks need a Bluetooth remote, and this one is an infrared remote. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that the remote came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this remote is all about. It's not that expensive. This is kind of your typical universal remote control. It runs on 2 AA batteries that go into this battery door down here. The batteries are not included, so when you're out shopping, you do need to add these to your cart. But the battery life on this remote should do better than many of the Roku remotes because this is not Bluetooth. The only time it's actually doing anything is when you're pushing a button on it, again, because it's going to be using that infrared light bulb there in the front. Now, it does come with a couple of manuals, and these are what you use to program in your television. By default, it's configured for a Samsung TV, but if you don't have a Samsung TV, you got to use one of these codes to get it all working. And I would suggest putting this in a safe place after you open it up, because if you get a new TV, you'll probably have to reprogram it. The programming wasn't difficult. I paired mine up with my Roku Hisense TV just because it's a Roku device and my remote broke. And I was playing around with it a little bit earlier. It was able to get the TV turned on after I programmed the remote. All of the keys work as you would expect. The Roku special keys, like the star here, are mapped properly. The home button is also mapped properly, so I found it to be a good remote to replace what I had. Just note here that you don't have the little shortcut buttons to Netflix or YouTube or something like that. I would have hoped that you could maybe map the number buttons down here for that purpose, but it doesn't let you do that. It's a pretty inexpensive remote. You're not going to get any features, but it would have been neat to just kind of link up Netflix to button 1, for example, and run with it. But unfortunately, that is not going to work here. You also have the ability to, of course, hit the pause and fast forward buttons when you're in an app. So this was me in the YouTube app, and it looked like the pause and fast forward and everything else worked just fine. All right, so that's part one. And then what we're going to do is I just need to look up one thing on this, because I think what you can do with this remote is, in addition to the, hang on a second, let me just write this down here real quick. In addition to the TV, you can link up another device through this STR button, and I think that's for the stereo. So I just need to double check exactly what that is all about there. So give me 1 second. And this is going to be one remote control intro. I'm just going to reply to Jan Parker here because I don't think she understands what this is. Okay, so that's in, and we're good there. So let's see if that looked okay. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a universal remote control from Philips that works with just about any TV, but it's also Roku compatible. They say this will work with any of the Rokus that's not a Roku stick, because those Roku sticks need a Bluetooth remote, and this one is an infrared remote. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that the remote came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this remote is all about. It's not that expensive. This is kind of your typical universal remote control. It runs on 2 AA batteries that go into this battery door down here. The batteries are not included, so when you're out shopping, you do need to add these to your cart. But the battery life on this remote should do better than many of the Roku remotes, because this is not Bluetooth. The only time it's actually doing anything is when you're pushing a button on it. Again, because it's going to be using that infrared light bulb there in the front. Now, it does come with a couple of manuals, and these are what you use to program in your television. By default, it's configured for a Samsung TV, but if you don't have a Samsung TV, you got to use one of these codes to get it all working. And I would suggest putting this in a safe place after you open it up, because if you get a new TV, you'll probably have to reprogram it. The programming wasn't difficult. I paired mine up with my Roku Hisense TV just because it's a Roku device and my remote broke. And I was playing around with it a little bit earlier. It was able to get the TV turned on after I programmed the remote. All of the keys work as you would expect. The Roku special keys, like the star here, are mapped properly. The home button is also mapped properly, so I found it to be a good remote to replace what I had. Just note here that you don't have the little shortcut buttons to Netflix or YouTube or something like that. I would have hoped that you could maybe map the number buttons down here for that purpose, but it doesn't let you do that. It's a pretty inexpensive remote. You're not going to get any features, but it would have been neat to just kind of link up Netflix to button 1, for example, and run with it. But unfortunately, that is not going to work here. You also have the ability to, of course, hit the pause and fast forward buttons when you're in an app. So this was me in the YouTube app, and it looked like the pause and fast forward and everything else worked just fine. Okay, that was good. I don't know what this STR button does, so I need to go try that, I guess, in a minute. But so we'll have to figure that out. Got some questions here. Fernando needs about 3 of these. Actually, if you go into the link in the video description, that will take you over to my Amazon feed, and if you follow me there, you'll get notified as to what's going on, and you can see this happening right now. Stephen Morris is here. Redacted is here. Mr. K is here. And Redacted says, it seems like I work for Amazon. No, I do not work for Amazon, but I get a lot of stuff from Amazon. In fact, that's how I got started doing this, was I got started on the Amazon Vine program, and I started getting stuff, and then I started reviewing stuff. So that was kind of how it came about. All right, so where we left off was there. I just want to go see what this button does. Give me 1 second, because I it doesn't, it's not very clear. There's nothing in the manual about what the STR button does. And I realize I'm spending more time on this than we should be. Let's see. Is my TV turning on now? Here, let me go I'll give you my, I'll just let this start off here and see if I can get this going. So I think STR might be a separate, like a different device that you can program in. Yeah, because when I hit the button here, nothing happens. So it must just be a secondary device that you can control. All right, so now let's go back to, yeah, I think you're correct. Redacted. I think that is for the stereo. So you can control your audio devices separately. What's interesting is that, you know, we're into this mode now where, okay, right, so this is the device to control. So it's the TV or the stereo. All right, so let's finish this up. Spending too much time on this. 3, 2, 1. Now there is another button here called STR. You can use that to control a different device. You can also map the volume up and down to that stereo. Let me start this again. 3, 2, 1. Now you also have a 3, 2, 1. Now you also have an STR button here. That's used to link up an audio device like a receiver or something like that, and the volume control here will get mapped to it. All in all, this is a pretty simple universal remote control. Again, you give up some of the things that you might have on your original Roku remote. That includes those streaming hot switches. Actually, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Now you also have a stereo button here for linking up an audio receiver. When you have something like that linked up, the volume will work with that device. Many of us now have HDMI CEC, so that might not be as necessary as it used to be, but you have that option here. And all in, it's a universal remote control that is pretty affordable. I do wish we could have mapped these buttons down here to a specific streaming service. That would have been nice to have. Also note that this does not support voice searches either. So if you like that feature on the Roku, you're going to need to get a Roku remote that supports that. This one is basic transportation. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. Done. Okay. We'll get to the more interesting stuff in a minute. Yeah, I actually got this in, you know, for free from the Amazon Vine program. But what's nice about it is that it filled a need that I had because my TV remote just broke. And you know, those Roku remotes will drain a little bit because most of them now are Bluetooth, right? They're connecting with a radio, so there's a little bit of power that it needs to maintain the connection. I'm guessing they put themselves to sleep, but there's got to be some underlying power necessary to be looking for the button push, right? All right. Yeah, it's good. It's going to come in around 3 minutes. That's exactly what I was aiming for here. 3, 2, 1. Now you also have a stereo button here for linking up an audio receiver. When you have something like that linked up, the volume will work with that device. Many of us now have HDMI CEC, so that might not be as necessary as it used to be, but you have that option here. And all in, it's a universal remote control that is pretty affordable. I do wish we could have mapped these buttons down here to a specific streaming service. That would have been nice to have. Also note that this does not support voice searches either. So if you like that feature on the Roku, you're going to need to get a Roku remote that supports that. This one is basic transportation. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. Okay, that's good. So that is item 1 done. And we'll move on from there. I'm not sure if there is a mod here. I did take care of the spammer that just came in, everybody. So hopefully, like, what is gained by that? Do you think they actually get, like, business from doing that? I'm not sure. Nick F. asks, are you obligated to review everything that comes in? I am not. I am not. Some things I don't get to. Some things just aren't worth it. This one is because this, believe it or not, what you'll find out there is something like this is heavily searched by consumers. And Roku is the market leader for streaming boxes. So this is something, even though it's kind of a low-cost item, there's an affiliate opportunity here. And it's not bad. If it was bad, I wouldn't have given it a passing review here. but there's opportunity on this one, so I figured this would be a good one to review. Plus, I needed one in the repertoire here. All right, the next one is, this one's not so good. So this is it looks like a calculator. And first of all, I want to say hello to Laura in the Amazon chat. Hello. It looks like a calculator, but it is a calculator, but it is also a, here, I'll turn it on here real quick. I got to do it down here. Yeah, by the way, it has this awful switch. Like, this thing is really cheap. So right now it's in calculator mode, but then you can pair it up with your computer and have it work as a number pad. So this is not exciting, but there might be some value to somebody here, but it's not. This is going to be another one that'll go real quick. The next one will be a little bit more interesting. And then the last thing we're going to do today is we are going to be unboxing a drone that goes underwater. So that'll be a little more interesting. So stick with me if you're okay with that. Hey, Mark Dell is here. Yeah, we put the bat signal out. And here he is. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how that works. You know, I would say, Michael Kidd, I think what happens here is that if they flood it, somebody may accidentally click on it, and that's exactly what they're looking for, is like how many people did I bring in? And if they're, you know, in this case, if they clicked on the name, they go to the YouTube channel, but maybe there's a video there that they want to have people see. I'm not sure. I just don't. I mean, you know, you think about the fact that spamming has never gone away since it started. Like, somebody is making money. I don't know. Codermania says, yes, this is a submarine drone. And I have some areas where I can play with it because I live near the water here, so I can take it to the marina and see if we can get some stuff underwater. So that might be kind of fun. Flood of Sins said, someone say flood? He appears, just like Mark Dell. Like, the bat signal gets rung and they show up. All right, so let's do this real quick. As they say, let's do this. Okay. You know what's funny? I get more viewers on Amazon when I'm looking at this stuff than I do like the stuff that you all on YouTube like me to look at. It's kind of funny. All right, let's see. I think I'll do another side view here. Get like a little side kind of profile of it, maybe. Let's get in on it like that. There we go. Just to kind of show the profile. And then I'll pair it up with my Mac, and we'll show how it works on the Mac. All right. Not exciting. Not exciting. Okay, but don't worry, it's going to get better. Mark Dell says he would love to do one of those FPV. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? I wonder if this has that feature. We'll have to see. Yeah, I think that's exactly NG Stripe. I think that's exactly what they're aiming for. This is a YouTube version of that. But Coderman says, is it Bluetooth? It is Bluetooth, but here's the problem with it, is that if you leave it on, the batteries will drain because it stays connected all the time, even if there's no sleep function on it. So in the manual, it tells you to turn it off, even if you're not in Bluetooth mode. So apparently it stays connected all the time. Isn't that crazy? Let me pair it with the computer now. I'm guessing there's a blue light on here or something. Let's see. I'm going to get this paired up real quick. So yeah, so it's got a little light under there that's blinking. By the way, it's not backlit either. No part of it is. So it's like, you know, we'll see. All right, so let me go into my Bluetooth settings here and get this thing connected. All right, so that connected, and does it work? Let's see. All right, it says it paired up, but it doesn't seem to be typing anything. I'm just typing it into my computer here. So the pairing is still blinking, even though the computer says it paired it. Let me try that again. Bear with me here, folks. Like I said, it will get more exciting. The next two things after this one are actually pretty good, if you're into chargers. If you're not into chargers, I'm not going to be able to help you. But this is not connected. Connect. There it goes. Okay. All right, well, here's another problem. I'm going to need to connect my Mac to... I need to do something here. Give me 1 second, folks. I got to figure this out, because this is going to be something we need to point out on the video. All right, so I'm just going to minimize my windows here for a second. And I'm going to add INDI to the mix. So we're just going to record a little B-roll here. Okay. Now the reason why I did that is because on the Mac, it wants you to push the shift key, or the key next to your shift key, so it can identify the keyboard type. And this doesn't have that key position, right? So it's hard to know where it's supposed to go. All right. And Codeman says, no one's going to remember to turn that thing. Exactly. That's exactly the problem with this, is that I don't think anyone's going to remember to turn it off. So I think that's a shortfall with this one, which we will point out. Just going to get that camera positioned a little better there. Okay. So I really anticipate that being a problem, no question. And I accidentally just closed the title here, so let me just put this back up here for everybody. Okay, so let me clean up some windows here, get ready for the next shoot. And we're going to add another video, the B-roll we just shot. We'll throw that in there. So that's what we just shot right there. And we'll start that one up on transition. See, what I try to do is try to get through the whole thing without having to stop. And we'll see if we can make that work. Mark Dell says, did I get this from the... Actually, this came in from the Amazon Vine program. But it would be one of those... it would be something you would see hanging from the shelf there. Maybe like TJ Maxx or something. Ah, here you go. I didn't get it there. I got it at Bed Math & Beyond. That's good. There you go. Hey, I got a question from Sapphire Breezes on Amazon. Having a horrible time choosing a power bank for a cross-country trip. Understand if you need to direct. So here's what I would say for power banks. You know, you want to get one that is not going to burn your house or car down, right? The ones that I like a lot, they're a little more premium, but they're very reliable, which are the Anker ones, A-N-K-E-R. Those are the ones that I use. So I would look at one of those. And you know, get like a big one, you know, as far as the capacity, because you want something that'll give you a couple of phone charges. And when my wife and I go around Disney World, I think I've got like the 26,400 version of it. And that one seems to work pretty good. Because it's funny, at Disney, when we go there, we haven't been there in a while, you know, we're taking photos and video of the kids all the time, so the batteries are just getting drained constantly. And we're always checking the app to see what we can get into, right? So the Anker ones are the ones that I like quite a bit. I have another one from Lenovo that's pretty good. I don't remember the model number, but what I like about that one is that it supports some of the proprietary Lenovo power adapters for their laptops, but it also has a higher voltage output for USB-C. So we'll have to see what they come up with there. Got some more questions coming in here. Mark Dell says, some people call the Amazon clock e-waste. Is this wastier? Yeah, this one, I think there's better implementations of this concept. Let's put it that way. So we're going to go through this one pretty quick here. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it does what it... Here's what I would say, is it does what it sets out to do. It just doesn't do it as well as it could. But it's also not that expensive. So that's something to keep in mind there. Sapphire, glad to be of assistance. Yeah, so give it a shot. Look at the Anker. It's A-N-K-E-R. You know what it is that like they're a brand that's established, and I think they put a little more engineering into the power banks. So that's why I like those power banks. Stephen K. on Amazon. I have an iMac which I would like to hook up to my TV. What is the best option to do that? It is a 2020 model. So if you want to hook up your iMac to a TV, the best thing to do is to grab a, so I think if you have the Retina iMac 2019, it has the smaller USB-C Thunderbolt ports on it. Grab yourself a USB-C to HDMI adapter. By the way, Anchor, I'm not shilling Anchor here. They just happen to be on my mind here. Anchor has an HDMI to USB-C one that would work fine. If you search Anchor HDMI to USB-C, I'll put this right into the thing right now, because this one will solve your problem. Let me add this to the product carousel. Give me 1 second. I'm going to add it to the end of the carousel. I'm going to select it here in a second. It's $13. You need the HDMI cable. But you get one of those Amazon Basics HDMI cables, and you'll be in good shape. So I'm going to select it right now. And this is the one you want, I think, because it'll support, here, I'll pull it up on screen here so you can see it. It'll support what you're looking to do. That's the one. So it does 4K at 60. That's what you need there. And then you can set the resolution as you need to. It should automatically set it. So hopefully that helps you out. I think I might start doing like a Q&A on Amazon where people can just come in and say, hey, I need something. Call for help. Remember when Leo Laporte would do call for help on, we should try that. Would you all, yeah, let's try that. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Okay, Martin says this calculator didn't make the cut all over it. Yeah, I think this one's going to be, we're going to approach it fairly though. I'm going to point out what works and what doesn't, right? Let me check and see if it's now connecting to the computer. Yeah, so now it's working on the computer. So if you look here, ready? I can hit enter and, so that's working now. So what we're going to do real quick is I'm going to just cut this thing out on a virtual input so I can overlay it on the computer screen. And normally I would use my, my green screen thing down here, but this is square, so it's easier to kind of cut this thing out. So I'm going to go to position, and I'm going to just crop this thing here. Let me show you what I'm doing here. So we're going to crop this. So we're going to go bloop, just like that, and we're going to go bloop, like that, and then we're going to do it this way, and then we're going to do this. All right, and then what we can do here is when we're on this screen, I can just hit that, and it comes in. Now what I'm going to do, though, is move it. So I'm going to put it over here. And then I could demo this in action. So I could say 500, or, let's see the backspace. Backspace works too. 987, see? So it does not, it has arrows on it. Oh, that's cool, see? So you can do that. So it's not a total bust. I think there's features that people would like to see on it. But you have the ability to kind of navigate here. So when you're in computer mode, these keys become, you have like page up and page down. So you see there's always there's always something to redeem here, right? So that's what you kind of have it work. Okay. Let me put this on DND real quick. Okay, there we go. All right. Sapphire says, can you recharge an Anchor with an automobile battery while driving? If you have yeah, it charges over USB. So you should be in good shape with a USB charger. So yeah, just note though that it takes a really long time to charge the big power banks. So I would plan to charge it overnight. But if you're in the car, get a USB charger for the car. You'll plug it right in just like your phone. It'll totally work. Mr. Pogi wants to know, I need to ask the right questions here. Mayonnaise or mustard? I think it depends on what you're eating with. Like I wouldn't put mayonnaise on a hot dog, but I used to do mustard on my hot dogs until I got. So my parents grew up in New York, and in New York you don't put ketchup on a hot dog. And then my parents moved to Connecticut, and I had, up until I went to school, I would always put mustard on my hot dog until I got to school, and then all my friends were putting ketchup on the hot dog, and my parents thought it was like, an act of sacrilege to put ketchup on a hot dog. But I would never put mayo. So there you go. Dom has a theory. I'm going to see if Dom's theory is correct. This will do well. This one's not going on the main channel. I don't think this one kind of rises to that level. I think subscribers might be wondering what is going on here, Lon. But I think it'll do pretty well on the extras channel. And again, we're going to show it in action, right? So we'll see where it goes. Let's see what are my thoughts about LG killing their mobile department. Yeah, LG killed their mobile phones. I think, it's hard to compete. It really is. And you know what? They're doing really well on their TVs and their displays, and I think they're going to focus on that. All right. Just going to scroll up here to see if there's any other questions here. James wants to know my thoughts on the Louis Rossmann's right to repair movement. I agree with his movement. Here's how I think it should play out, is that I think that you have the right to repair as a store, and Apple's starting to move in this direction in a private way. But here's what I think the issue is. I would be comfortable. Let's say if I was the governor, right? I would say I'm in favor of this, but we have to have some consumer protection because, and this is the problem right now. Right now, in my state, there's no licensing for phone repairs at all. So you go into some storefront, they change out your screen or your battery. They don't need a license to do that. Now, if I'm working on your television or on your washing machine, I need a repair license for that. But there's no certification process to determine if I am able to repair a phone correctly. So what happens? Like they do poor work, they put in a lousy battery, your phone charges and burns the house down, right? Like that's why that regulatory level is there. Louis Rossmann is a really good repairman. I've actually sent computers to him, which he has fixed in a very timely and reasonable manner. I'm a happy customer of his. And so I trust him, but I think you need to have some layer of licensing. And if you had that, I think then you can start forcing these companies to sell parts to these repair shops. Apple is starting to do this now. They have a verification process, but the problem is they're not letting people fix Macs. Like they're very restrictive about how to go about it. So I think right to repair, yes, with some degree of consumer protection, so that so people are protected from shoddy work, because we have that for everything else, except that. All right, here, let's see. Yeah, so I was going to do the chroma key, but it was actually quicker to crop. So that's why I did that. Mark Dell wants to know frames of lag. I'm sure it's not good. And we're getting Mark Dell hungry for hot dogs. We used to have this hot dog guy in town named Mr. Z. He was in a trailer right down by the train station. He had great hot dogs. Something about how you grill them. So Red Hornet here agrees with me. I should do something. I haven't talked about right to repair in a while. Maybe I should add that to my list of things to talk about on the wrap-up show, because I've been thinking about that more and more. And there's a couple of examples of you've seen these issues, right? And Louis himself will be repairing. He'll be repairing stuff that other places messed up, right? Like he will fix the shoddy work of others. He talks about that quite a bit. Aaron Johnson's disappointed about LG killing the mobile division. Some of the phones that came out in the last couple of years are great. If the mobile division were revived, it would. Yeah, it's tough. I think I think they were making phones for Google for a while. Let's see. Oh, Nick F wants to know, can this pair to a, yes. And I should note that, yes, this will pair up with anything that supports a Bluetooth keyboard. So this shows up like a Bluetooth keyboard when it pairs. And I'll make a note to that. So it'll pair up with the phones and stuff like that. Mr. Poggi just ordered an Asus G14 Ryzen 9, beast of a machine. I'm jealous. That sounds like a real beast. I've got more computers around me than I know what to do with right now. They're all on loan, but I've got to get through this. Because Lenovo, what happens with Lenovo is they come out with everything all at once. And so they let me borrow stuff. And I'm one of the few reviewers that reviews all the lower tier market items because everyone else does the high-end stuff. So I think I've got like 4 or 5 of them. And I'm trying not to do, I try to do maybe 1 a week just so that we don't become like Lenovo all the time, you know? They come out with so much stuff. So tomorrow, I think today's Thursday, so probably tomorrow night, I'll see how the current video is doing. We're going to have a review of their 14-inch Ryzen ThinkBook, the one that we streamed the other day about. I finally got that review done. It's a nice machine if you put the right amount of RAM in it. Excuse me, Chris Allegretta is here. The old LG Nexus phones were decent. They should have disappeared into making, yeah, that's probably what they should have done. Just become like a contract manufacturer because they had the capacity and the capability, right? The Nexus phones were good. All right. Yeah, I may or may not put the B-roll on this one. I think I'm just going to mention it because it'll pair up. And what we'll demo on the computer is how it would work on something else. All right, let's get this one started. And this will be another quick one. And then we're going to do the Logitech charger. And then we're going to unbox the underwater drone. That one should be kind of fun. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a number pad for your computer from Mac Alley. And it kind of looks like a calculator too, and that's because it's both. You can have it work as a calculator here, and then when you push the button, it will pair up with your computer over Bluetooth, and it'll work like an external number pad. And we're going to dive into what this thing is all about in just a second, but I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this little number pad is all about. All right, that's the intro. Let me just log my clip, and then we'll do the overview. Let's just watch that real quick. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a number pad for your computer from Mac Alley. And it kind of looks like a calculator too, and that's because it's both. You can have it work as a calculator here, and then when you push the button, it will pair up with your computer over Bluetooth, and it'll work like an external number pad. And we're going to dive into what this thing is all about in just a second, but I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this little number pad is all about. All right, I can live with that. Mark Dell is wondering, let me put this up here real quick. How are we going to do the underwater drone? yeah, because I don't leave the house ever. So I just go from my basement to the kitchen to eat and come back down here again. This is my lair. I think what I'm going to do, actually, I don't live far from the water, so I may go down to the beach with it. I may go to the marina with it. And I've got a friend that has a marine business. Maybe he might find some use for it. Maybe I'll let him borrow it for a couple of days and see if it has some utility for him. So we'll see. It's pretty big, too. It's pretty big. Chris says, hello, Chris. I don't know how I stumbled across this, but it's probably the best YouTube content creator tutorial I've ever seen. Which one is that? You got a link to that, or are you just talking about me? Or just watching this? This is like this. Yeah, actually, what I do, and I'll show you all. Now, for those of you who are regulars, you see this all the time. But I will show you my control panel here so you can see what I'm doing. So this is vMix. This is what I use to do the recording and the live stream. This does it all. And this is kind of like, this is a commercial, it's kind of like OBS, but it's a commercial piece of software. And all of my friends that work in broadcast are like, this is what they use. This has become like the new standard. It's that good. And I did a pretty long video about this. And if you're interested, check it out, because it'll give you like all the details as to how I put the show together with this. But this replaced my TriCaster. I was using a TriCaster for a long time. And I run it on an i9 Intel desktop machine. And some welcomes for Chris there. And thank you for following Sapphire Freezes. And just picking it up. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you'll see in a minute when we get through the review part of it. It's got some quirks, as they'd say. So it's going to be one of those things where it's very much something that you either will like or not like. All right. So let's dive into the hardware, and then we'll get into the rest of it. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. I've got it in calculator mode right now. The keys feel fine. It's kind of your usual membrane keyboard, so nothing fancy here, but it's decent enough. It'll kind of replicate the feeling you'd get out of a budget keyboard. And you can go ahead and just do all of your calculator functions when you're in calculator mode. One neat thing that it has is that you can program in sales tax for your particular area, and it will automatically do sales tax calculations when you're putting things in. So for example, I just hit did that work? Hang on a second. 1 second. So I have $5 and then I hit, yeah, that's working. Okay. Let me start that again. I programmed in my local sales tax on this. I mean, it could be useful, like if you're one of those people that's doing like a, you're doing a craft fair or something where you're kind of calculating out in the field. It'll do the tax calculation. So I could say, for example, here, let's say I have 250 plus 635 plus 15, and then I can hit the button here. So it's 2385, hit the button, and then it will automatically calculate the sales tax on top of that. So you can kind of program in your sales tax and go from there. Thank you for following C on Amazon. Much appreciated. Okay, let's try this here again. Dexter's wondering is the Legion 5 a good gaming laptop, or should you wait for the 30X series of... I like the Legion 5. It's the challenge right now is getting the GPUs. So, whatever performance gains you'll get on a 3050 versus whatever Legion 5 you're looking at, that's going to be the difference, right? The CPU side is usually about the same. All right, let's go get this done so we can move further through here. And we got a few other people to say hello to here. Let me just say hello to Lowy Tech is here. Hello. And Server Utic is here. Hello to you. Looking a little blocky there. Minecraft guy. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. This really feels like a little desk calculator. The keys feel about what you would expect on one of those kinds of devices. They're nothing spectacular, membrane keys, but they have a good size to them. I like the big 0 key here. You've got the double 0 if you wanted to have 2 zeros placed on whatever you're working on there. You got a big equal key here. I often like to have a big plus key also because the adding machines that I've used to use, one more time, 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. It's not bad from a key perspective here. They're membrane keys, nothing spectacular. Kind of mirrors what you would see on a little desk calculator, which is largely what this kind of is. You have a big equal key here, but a smaller plus key. I like to have a larger plus key just because it reminds me of the adding machine my father used to have on his desk. You do, though, have a double 0 here and a few neat little features of the calculator like memory. It also has a tax thing where you could type in your sales tax ahead of time and then just hit the plus key when you get your total to get the tax added in. And you can also take it back out again if you need to do that. So a neat little calculator on its own. One thing that, I'm going to start this again. I'm still not feeling it. So give me a minute here on this one. Remix is here. Hello, Remix. Good to see you. Got a question about Bitcoin. We'll get to that in a minute. I got some thoughts on Bitcoin. I have some Bitcoin now. It is now part of my Robinhood portfolio, but I give no financial advice here. Got some more Amazon followers to thank. Amazon customer. That's how they label anonymous users. And Fernando has followed us too. Thank you very much, everybody. And Mark Dell says, perfection takes time. And I'm shooting for just good enough at this point. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. The keys here do not feel spectacular. It's kind of like your run-of-the-mill calculator kind of feel to it, which is what this kind of is. But they're decent enough. They've got decent spacing here, actually pretty good travel. so it's not hard to go bang out numbers pretty quickly on this. The keys are large enough to find them, and you've got a little bump here on the 5 key, so you can feel your way around that way. It's got a big equal key here, but a smaller plus key. I often like the adding machine style where you've got that big plus key also, but that's not a deal breaker to me. Nice big 0 key here. You got the double 0 as well. And it has a couple of neat little features with memory like you'd see on some other calculators. And it also has the ability to load in your state sales tax. So if I hit this plus tax button here, it automatically calculates the sales tax on the total that I have up on the screen. I can also just take it back out there by hitting minus. So that is the calculator side of it. Now, one thing to note is that the screen here is not backlit, nor are the keys. So you're going to need to have some light on this to see it. Right now it looks a little bit dim just based on the angle here to my camera, but it looks pretty good, on par with any calculator you've purchased since the 1980s. It really feels like that. Now, this will pair up via Bluetooth to a computer, and you have to switch modes to go into Bluetooth mode. So if I hit the key here, you can see now it says PC, and now it is tied into my Mac here. Now, even though this is called Mac Alley, it doesn't mean it only works with Macs. It actually will work with just about anything that supports Bluetooth keyboards. So you can connect it up with a PC, a Windows computer, you can connect it up to a Linux computer, you can hook your phone up to it, an Android device, pretty much anything, again, that works with a Bluetooth keyboard will work with this. And what I'm going to do here is show you my Mac's screen here. We're also going to pull the calculator up. And as you can see as I type on it, we've got numbers going into my spreadsheet. And then you've got some arrow keys here so you can kind of navigate around. So it's kind of nice that it's got all this stuff kind of integrated here. So it has some useful key functions. You also have page up and page down. Just note that all of the memory functions and that tax feature that we were looking at a minute ago don't work when it's in PC mode. But I do think it's more valuable to have the navigational keys here, which help you get around with your computer there. So that's a pretty nice feature. One issue, though, and I'll turn off my overview here, is that you have to remember to turn it off because it apparently will always stay paired to the computer even when you leave it idle for a length of time. It doesn't appear to go to sleep. So it's going to drain the batteries quicker. And they said that it stays paired even when you move it out of the PC mode and go back to the calculator. So if you don't remember to turn it off, you're likely going to have a dead battery more often than you would like. It runs on AAA batteries, 2 of them, and they come included with the device, but you might, again, burn through those if you don't remember to turn off the keypad. So not bad. It could be better, but it does get the job done, and it does do what it says it will do. But I think a backlight on the keys and the screen would have been nicer, and maybe some kind of sleep function to prevent the batteries from draining would have been something obvious to implement into this device. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, that one worked. What do you all think of that? Okay. Let's go add that to my repertoire here. Calculator part 2. Yeah, it comes in around the same as the other one, about 4 minutes in total. Let's take a look at this real quick. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. The keys here do not feel spectacular. It's kind of like your run-of-the-mill calculator kind of feel to it, which is what this kind of is. But they're decent enough. They've got decent spacing here, actually pretty good travel. So it's not hard to go bang out numbers pretty quickly on this. The keys are large enough to find them, and you've got a little bump here on the 5 key, so you can feel your way around that way. It's got a big equal key here, but a smaller plus key. I often like the adding machine style where you've got that big plus key also, but that's not a deal breaker to me. Nice big 0 key here. You got the double 0 as well. And it has a couple of neat little features with memory like you'd see on some other calculators. And it also has the ability to load in your state sales tax. So if I hit this plus tax button here, it automatically calculates the sales tax on the total that I have up on the screen. I can also just take it back out there by hitting minus. So that is the calculator side of it. Now, one thing to note is that the screen here is not backlit, nor are the keys. So you're going to need to have some light on this to see it. Right now it looks a little bit dim just based on the angle here to my camera, but it looks pretty good, on par with any calculator you've purchased since the 1980s. It really feels like that. Now, this will pair up via Bluetooth to a computer, and you have to switch modes to go into Bluetooth mode. So if I hit the key here, you can see now it says PC, and now it is tied into my Mac here. Now, even though this is called Mac Alley, it doesn't mean it only works with Macs. It actually will work with just about anything that supports Bluetooth keyboards. So you can connect it up with a PC, a Windows computer, you can connect it up to a Linux computer, you can hook your phone up to it, an Android device, pretty much anything, again, that works with a Bluetooth keyboard will work with this. And what I'm going to do here is show you my Mac's screen here. We're also going to pull the calculator up. And as you can see, as I type on it, we've got numbers going into my spreadsheet. And then you've got some arrow keys here so you can kind of navigate around. So it's kind of nice that it's got all this stuff kind of integrated here. So it has some useful key functions. You also have page up and page down. Just note that all of the memory functions and that tax feature that we were looking at a minute ago don't work when it's in PC mode. But I do think it's more valuable to have the navigational keys here, which help you get around with your computer there. So that's a pretty nice feature. One issue, though, and I'll turn off my overview here, is that you have to remember to turn it off because it apparently will always stay paired to the computer even when you leave it idle for a length of time. It doesn't appear to go to sleep. So it's going to drain the batteries quicker. And they said that it stays paired even when you move it out of the PC mode and go back to the calculator. So if you don't remember to turn it off, you're likely going to have a dead battery more often than you would like. It runs on AAA batteries, 2 of them, and they come included with the device, but you might, again, burn through those if you don't remember to turn off the keypad. So not bad. It could be better, but it does get the job done, and it does do what it says it will do. But I think a backlight on the keys and the screen would have been nicer, and maybe some kind of sleep function to prevent the batteries from draining would have been something obvious to implement into this device. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, good. Next. This is next. So this is kind of neat. This is, and I'll select it up on the screen here. This is the Logitech Qi charger. What do they call this? This is the Logitech powered, I got to look up the name of this thing. The Logitech, bear with me here, folks. And these are all Amazon Vine devices, by the way. Everything today came in from Amazon Vine. I kind of like queue them up when I have a bunch of them, then I do a stream with them. So this is the Logitech powered 10-watt wireless charging 3-in-1 dock. That's a long name. They got to work on the branding. They should call it like they should just name it something. But it's a wireless charger. So it's charging my phone. And then it's actually got 3 different types of chargers on it because in addition to that charger, it also will charge over here too. So you've got, at least they say it will. Let's see. It looks like it's charged. Let me turn this phone on so we can get that going. So it's got 2 chargers on it. So you've got a charger here, and then it's got the Apple Watch charger here, and then this is another Qi charger right here. So it's 2 Qi chargers plus the Apple Watch. So they're kind of making, this is an Apple-centric device, but it will work with more than just Apple. It's just that it's probably not worth getting if you are not an Apple person, right? Because, hang on one second here. I just want to check. I just want to turn on my, yeah, okay. Because if you're not using an Apple device, you're not going to get much use out of that Apple part there. Let's see if this charges when I put this on. There it goes. Oh, did it charge? Let's see. Yep. Okay, he's got to get it lined up. So I'm just trying to see how we can demo that. I guess we can kind of move it over this way, and then I can put the phone down. And this one has a case on it, so it'll... And he's got to get it aligned in the right spot. This is more designed for, this part here is more designed for a, there it goes. It's really more designed for your AirPods or one of those smaller things, but it will, I mean, think about this, if you are a household where you've got an Android phone and an iPhone, this will charge both, right? So this will be another quick one. I say that now. Of course, it will not be. Lin Huang, thank you for the follow on Amazon. Much appreciated. Let me catch up on some thoughts here. Some questions about mining crypto. I have not done any crypto mining, primarily because there's so many people doing it. Your odds of being successful versus the amount of electricity that you're going to expend. You know what I mean? So that's an issue. Chris makes a good point about Robinhood for Bitcoin. You can't really move it around or, right. So you're buying like a share of what they already own, I think, is probably how they're doing it. But you are correct about that. Because you don't have, it doesn't follow what crypto should be, which is that you have your wallet, right? So there are some better options out there. For me, it's just convenience. I do have a Bitcoin wallet. And actually, Chris, I think you were the one that maybe sent me some Bitcoin a long time ago. I still have it, and it's gone up in value. So if you want some of it back, let me know. Chris says that he's been noticing a lot more less than 10-minute videos. Did YouTube change their monetization payouts? I don't think so. I think that they now have this shorts thing. I think they're promoting that a little bit more. And it could just be that, they're finding, maybe based on how they're running ads now, that they, if you're watching more individual videos, you're watching more ads potentially. So there could be some benefit for that. I found in my own viewing habits, it's just that I don't, if I see something that's really long, I might put it into my playlist for when I walk the dog as opposed to sitting down to watch it. So maybe it's just, I bet you that like viewing habits change over time too. So there you go. Chris has some more recommendations on crypto platforms. I have a friend of mine, he may pop in. Mark, the puzzle guy, is a big crypto guy. He's the guy that we went to do the OBS thing with. And he keeps all of his own wallets. He has a couple of hardware wallets. He was telling me his whole process. It's kind of fascinating. We should maybe interview him. It might be kind of fun to get his workflow. Because he's like super secure with it. And he's got hardware wallets, and then his passwords are on paper. Like he doesn't have his passwords anywhere else. Nowhere digital. So he's really, and he's got backups, and also I don't understand exactly how he's doing it right now, but I kind of should want to learn how to do that. BB Garnett wants to know, have I seen the new Lenovo phone? I haven't. I should reach out to them. Is it a dual screen phone? That looks kind of neat. Try to check those out. Mark Dell says, I love those flat chargers. I have the iPhone mini, and those standing chargers don't work for me because the charging coil is so low down. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've got on my desk here, I've got this Belkin one. See if I can show you. So this is the one my phone usually sits in. Because when I'm doing these live streams, I have the Amazon app loaded all the time. And I have it so my phone doesn't go to sleep. So I use the Belkin one here to just have the phone rest so it faces me. But yeah, getting the alignment is really critical on these things. So I could see that being an issue there. Okay. All right. Yeah, we should. Let me talk to Mark. See if he's up for it. Because I think it'd be kind of fun. Because what I don't want to turn it into like, hey, let's jump on the crypto bandwagon. There's a lot of those kind of videos out there. But I think it might be fun to hear how he manages his crypto wallets and educate people about that. Because I think right now, like in my case, like I have Bitcoin on my Robinhood account as a small portion of my overall portfolio with them, right? So it might be kind of fun. All right, Sean is asking a question. My friend has a good voice and he wants to use Alexa calling him messaging, but he only has a house number. I'm not sure. Sean, are you asking about Google Voice or Good? I don't know what Good Voice is. So let me know. Okay, so let's get this show on the road here with this, and then we can get to the drone, and then we'll go on from there. All right. So, oops, leave this on. Actually, I think I'm going to turn this off because if it's off and I put it in here, yeah, that'll be a good way to demo it. Perfect. Okay, that's my daughter, by the way, who is now 7.5, almost 8. She's going to be 8 next month. That was when she was a baby. And this is the best picture I have ever taken. That's my daughter on the day she was born. And I took it with my Nikon what do I have, a D700? Geez, I don't even remember. I have a D600. I think that's what it is. I bought the camera specifically to take pictures of her when she was born. And I still have it, of course. I have the 50 millimeter 1.4 lens. And when we got through the whole having the baby thing, and then we got to our room. They take the baby and get the baby cleaned, and then they brought the baby back, and then that shot was lit with just natural light from the window. Isn't that amazing? I've never taken a picture like that ever again. Like, it just was just awesome. So we used that. And this was her. Like, the thing with my daughter, my oldest, she is, to this day, just that alert all the time. Nothing gets by her. And this kid popped out, like, that was day one, just alert. Like, she was seeing stuff, like, not interacting, but it was crazy, like, how alert she was from the get-go. I'm talking like minute zero. That kid was like, I'm here, right? It was really cool, because they gave her to me first. So they handed her to me, and she's just like looking at me, just like that. I mean, it was so crazy, because usually, like, they don't open their eyes right away. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. Yeah, Chris Allegretti says, yeah, and you know what? This is the thing, is that to get a picture this clear, you need a big camera with good optics on the lenses, because that is 3/4 of the battle. So you've got a big, huge camera sensor, because that D600 sensor, I don't think is that big. It's like 24 megapixels, I think, is what it runs at. The photos are big. They're like 40 megabytes a piece, because I shoot RAW with that. But it's the lenses and the optics of the lenses. And when you've got these tiny little lenses on these cameras, you just can't get the clarity that you would get from a lens with much better glass and much larger optics. I think that makes a big difference. Patrick Chang says the best picture he's ever taken was of a salesman at a camera shop. He was renting a lens for a wedding, and the lighting in there was perfect. Yeah, sometimes you get really lucky with the lighting. I've had a few things work for me in that regard. I have one picture of my last dog, who's no longer with us, but I took a picture. So I had rented a lens because I got to go to the presidential inaugural. So had a lens. This was back in 2009. I got a lens. I rented it because I knew it was going to have some really cool opportunities to take some cool pictures. And let's see if I can find the dog's picture. I don't think I have it handy. Let's see if it's in my. This is before I put everything into Apple Photos. I have like 5 different photo clusters, and I never can find things where I want them. Let's see if I can find it in here. Yeah, she was a good dog. She was a husky that lived to 17. That was my husky, Sophie. And then she passed away, and then 2 weeks later, I found out there was a rescue husky that came into my life, and that's the dog I have now. So that dog lucked out. And you know what she does during the day? She just like sleeps on the front porch. She just chills out. She just loves it. She's like, I hit the jackpot. And we take our walks, so she's going to get her walk in a little while. She gets at least two walks a day, which is good for me. She's like my personal trainer. So there we go. Beard Laws is here. Things are going well. Having a great day. Thank you for asking. He's on the Amazon chat. All right, everybody, let's get the show on the road here, and we'll do the Logitech thing. All right, so this is called the. So we're gonna get back to work here. Mark Dell says, "Don't tell me you can't find photos." No, it's true. I can't find photos all the time. Actually, you know what I do when I can't find something? I go into my Google Photos, because everything somehow gets into my Google Photos. I'm not sure how they get there, but they end up there. Let's see if I can find it, because this picture came out great. And again, just natural light. I'm going to look for it one more time, one more second. If I can't find it, we'll just move on. I have it framed. Like the picture was that good of the dog. I have it framed. But I can't seem to, oops, let me see dog, let's see dog 2009, see if I can find it there. Yeah, I can't find it. But here's one like that's similar. So here, I'll show you this with a good lens, what you can do with it. So this was, go full screen here. Yeah, the resolution's not great on this. I cut down the resolution on my Google Photos because I was running out of space. So this is another one that I took of her. She was just dozing away there. And that was 2009, which it doesn't seem like, I've been in this house for how long have I been here now? So So I've been in this house for 14 years, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But the older you get, the quicker time goes. It's just crazy. Okay, back to work. You're all very bad influences on me. All right, so we're going to go and begin recording. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. We're taking a look today at a desk charger from Logitech. This is their powered 10-watt wireless charger 3-in-1. And what makes this a 3-in-1 is that you've got a spot for your Apple Watch here, you have another spot for a phone, and then you've got a third spot here, which allows you to attach. Let me start this again because I'm not happy with how this is going. 1 second. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. We're taking a look today at a charger from Logitech. This has 3 wireless charging spots on it. One for an Apple Watch, one for a phone, and then one for whatever you want over here on the left-hand side. We're going to take a closer look at this charger in just a second, but I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this charger is all about. All right, let me play that back real quick. That probably worked. And we'll add this one, 200 intro. This is going to be the intro for the Logitech. The one thing that is missing on this thing is, let me make this, yeah. The one thing that's missing on this is that it doesn't have like a USB charging port on it. That would be, because I have a Belkin upstairs on my nightstand, and it's got this, and then it's got a spot here, but it's not a wireless charger, but it does have a USB port in the back, so you can plug in whatever you want on it. All right, so let's play this back. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. We're taking a look today at a charger from Logitech. This has 3 wireless charging spots on it. One for an Apple Watch, one for a phone, and then one for whatever you want over here on the left-hand side. We're going to take a closer look at this charger in just a second, but I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what this charger is all about. That works. Zeruda says, I wasn't planning on watching, but I guess I'm watching you now. Yeah, sometimes like it just puts it up as an autoplay for the next video, right? I've had that happen to me too. It's kind of funny how that works. I usually turn off autoplay, but I have so many things that I watch stuff on that if I don't remember to turn it off on everything, it just pops up. So welcome. Glad you could make it. Ed is saying it's a warm day here in Ohio. It is warm in Connecticut, too. I'm going to be taking my dog out for a nice stroll in a little bit. She's excited for that, as am I. I'll tell you what, it's been hard to get motivated the last couple of days because it's been so nice out. All right, so let's jump into the hardware portion here. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. Now, they are marketing this at the 3, 2, 1. So let's dive into the hardware now. They are marketing this for Apple devices, but the phone charger here, along with the other charger over here, will work with anything because these are standard Qi chargers. If you've got an iPhone, it's going to charge at 7.5 watts on each of these pads. If you have a Samsung phone, it'll go up to 9 watts. The charging adapter that goes into the wall for this is about 22 watts total, so it should be able to provide 7.5 watts each here, or a little bit more with a Samsung phone, and then enough for the watch as well. I'm just going to put a bunch of stuff on here so you can see what happens. So here's my watch here charging up as we would expect it to. And then we're going to take my iPhone here and put it on this pad, and that is charging. And then I'm going to take out an Android phone that does support wireless charging that has a case on it, just to see how it functions with that. And I'm just going to give you my overhead view, and we'll see if it's charging there. I'll just take it off and put it back on again here. And we should see that charge initiate. You do have to get it lined up the right way. This pad here is kind of designed for like the AirPods and things that are a little bit smaller. But there is a circle here, and once you have the phone positioned correctly, it will start charging. And hopefully this will get going here. I may do this take again. There it goes. So it's kind of hard because this phone doesn't really have a good visualization of it charging. But I wanted to use this one because it is, yeah, we're going to do this take over again. I wanted to use this one because it has a case, and I don't have a case on any of my Apple phones right now. So let me start this again. I didn't like how all of that was coming together. What I might do actually is put this here, because then I could show that charging here, and then we can do the Apple phone, because this will be easier to align. Yeah, so that'll work better. Let's try that. So let's try that again. Hot Sauce and Video Games is here. Things are going well, my friend. Aaron Johnson says vMix is interesting, though the prices. So vMix doesn't have any plans. They just sell a license. So I have the 4K version. So I did spend about $700 on it, but but you only pay an annual fee of like $50 a year after that to keep renewing the versions. But you don't have to. So if you're happy with the version you have, you can stop paying and never upgrade if you don't want to. But for me, because I use this for my production workflow, I think it's actually very reasonably priced. I like it a lot. Mark Dell's wondering, why no cases on my phones? Well, I had a case on my old phone, and I just never got around to getting a one for this one. I should do that, though. All right. Let's try this again. This is actually our third review. We're on the third one right now. We're doing extras channel stuff today. So we've got 3 reviews and an unboxing. So the unboxing is coming up next. Let's try this again. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. They are marketing this at Apple users because it has the Apple Watch charger over here. And we'll put my Series 6 watch on there, and you can see that it holds itself up and it charges when it attaches. But the 2 charging pads on here are both standard Qi chargers, and they'll deliver 7.5 watts to an iPhone or 9 watts to a Samsung phone. The power adapter that plugs into it gives you a total of 22 watts, so it should be enough to use all 3 of these charging surfaces at full power. And they'll charge things other than Apple devices. So I've got a Google Pixel phone here that supports wireless charging, and as you can see, it just charges up here when you attach it, no problem there. And then we have another charging pad here, so we're going to take my iPhone. Let me give you my overhead view. We're going to take my iPhone and just drop it down on this pad. Now, this is the pad that they suggest you use your AirPods with or something like that. But if you have a phone to charge, you can actually charge 2 phones on this. You just need to make sure you get the charging portion of your phone aligned properly with the charger on the pad. But as you can see here, we've got everything charging up all at the same time, and it's working pretty nicely. It feels pretty well constructed. It's got a nice rubberized coating to it, so the phones won't slip off of it too easily. It does kind of have a nice little grip to it, but I have found that it's attracting dust. I have a Siberian Husky, and even though she never comes down here, it managed to find some of her hair on this, so you will be like kind of scraping dust off of it and stuff. A nice solid base. It's got a good weight to it, so it's good for a nightstand. You can just kind of plop your phone on it when you go to bed and grab it in the morning or something. No problem there. One thing I would have preferred to have on this would be a USB port so that you could plug something else in. So I have the older AirPods that don't have the wireless charging built into their case. I have to charge them via USB. So I would have loved to have a USB port on here so I could charge something else in addition to using the wireless chargers. I have a Belkin charger that does that for me. But if you are looking just to charge things wirelessly, not a bad solution here. A little on the pricier side, but it does feel very high quality and no issues that we could find charging our devices on it. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, let's see how that one worked. I can live with it. Again, these are all extras channel reviews, because these are things that, like on the main channel, we go into more detail, more depth. There's not much to this. It either works or it doesn't. And if you like the attributes of the product, you're good, right? If you don't like the attributes, you'll look for something else. So let's just play this back. This is probably about, we're running about 3 or 4 minutes in each of these. That's what I was aiming for. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a closer look now at the hardware. They are marketing this at Apple users because it has the Apple Watch charger over here. And we'll put my Series 6 watch on there, and you can see that it holds itself up and it charges when it attaches. But the 2 charging pads on here are both standard Qi chargers, and they'll deliver 7.5 watts to an iPhone or 9 watts to a Samsung phone. The power adapter that plugs into it gives you a total of 22 watts, so it should be enough to use all 3 of these charging surfaces at full power. And they'll charge things other than Apple devices. So I've got a Google Pixel phone here that supports wireless charging, and as you can see, it just charges up here when you attach it, no problem there. And then we have another charging pad here, so we're going to take my iPhone. Let me give you my overhead view. We're going to take my iPhone and just drop it down on this pad. Now, this is the pad that they suggest you use your AirPods with or something like that. But if you have a phone to charge, you can actually charge 2 phones on this. You just need to make sure you get the charging portion of your phone aligned properly with the charger on the pad. But as you can see here, we've got everything charging up all at the same time, and it's working pretty nicely. It feels pretty well constructed. It's got a nice rubberized coating to it, so the phones won't slip off of it too easily. It does kind of have a nice little grip to it, but I have found that it's attracting dust. I have a Siberian Husky, and even though she never comes down here, it managed to find some of her hair on this, so you will be like kind of scraping dust off of it and stuff. A nice solid base. It's got a good weight to it, so it's good for a nightstand. You can just kind of plop your phone on it when you go to bed and grab it in the morning or something. No problem there. One thing I would have preferred to have on this would be a USB port so that you could plug something else in. So I have the older AirPods that don't have the wireless charging built into their case. I have to charge them via USB. So I would have loved to have a USB port on here so I could charge something else in addition to using the wireless chargers. I have a Belkin charger that does that for me. But if you are looking just to charge things wirelessly, not a bad solution here. A little on the pricier side, but it does feel very high quality and no issues that we could find charging our devices on it. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. Good. So that is another item off the list. So now, this is the fun part. Let me go get this other thing. Where did I put the box? Did I bring it down here? All right. Can you all talk amongst yourselves? Let me go find the last item to look at today. And I nearly fell down, but I didn't, so no bloopers. All right, so let me go. Oh, yeah, here it is. This thing weighs a ton, too. Oh, my goodness. Good thing I re-upped my workers' comp insurance. Okay, let me bring this downstairs here. Oh, hear that? That's how heavy it is. And I have never played with a underwater drone before, so this is going to be a first. Although I have no water to test it in, so you're not going to. Maybe we'll do like a live stream. Maybe we'll do a live stream when I go down to the beach with it. That might be kind of fun. I was looking for an excuse to get that that streaming box that we looked at. There's like multi-factors here, multi-layers to this box. Hang on a second, everybody. Oh, the box got a little bit mangled here, but we'll see how it does. Oh. Okay, so this was a box within a box. All right. Oh. Oh. It's heavy. All right, let me. It got a little chewed up there. Hopefully it survives. And let me just turn this off. Oops. And Mark Dell's wondering, could we run this underwater as a live stream? I bet you we could. I'm pretty sure we can do that. Let me grab my little box cutter. Where did I put it? Here it is. And I'm going to try to zoom the overhead view out a little bit. such a mess. Oh my goodness. Hang on a second here. I don't know if my desk is moving back or not. I don't remember this not having as much real estate. The overhead view is probably not going to be a functional one here, so I think we're just going to go with this view and this one. And we'll get the get started here. Oh, Mark says he wants me to run it inside a live stream, right? Stream it within the live stream. I get you. Let's see. I just hope that it didn't get damaged in shipment here. This came in a few weeks ago, but it was like the dead of winter, so I didn't have the ability to do much with it. All right, so there's another box in here. So let's get these things out of the way here. I had to get a second recycling box because I have so much cardboard week to week here. All right, so let me get the... So we're going to record an unboxing video for the extras channel with this. And then... And then when I get a good weather day, I will... oh, that did not go well. Okay, we're okay. Nothing got damaged. All right. So here you go. And it looks like it did get a good bite out of it here, but I think we're okay. Yeah, there's just some foam got hit there. So, all right. So we're going to do an unboxing video. Let me get this part lined up here. And Tracy, thank you for the follow on Amazon. Okay. And he has some good ideas here. I could have the chat control the, that's a Dom suggestion, have chat control the actual drone as it's floating around there. That'd be kind of fun. Okay, Eric's Variety Channel is here. And Simeon was wondering what I think about. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I hadn't really given much thought to LG phones in a while. I had one, they sent me one years ago, kind of when I first got started, one of their phones, which was nice. And it's funny, I did the review and then I sent it to a friend in Ecuador who I met on Google Plus many years ago. He needed a phone. I'm like, I got phones. But yeah, there hasn't been much from them that I found competitive, right? And it's hard because I think the Pixel phones sell okay and they're really nice phones from Google. But I feel like the market is just, here's the problem that LG ran into, is that the market is, at the high end, is saturated. So you've got, at the higher end, which is where they were trying to compete, you have Apple, you have Samsung. Who else is in that space? I think they're like your big players are Apple and Samsung. Even Google has kind of retreated from the higher end phone space. So the Pixel 2, is this the 2 or the 3? This is the Pixel 3. This was like a flagship smartphone with flagship features. The new Pixels retreated. So the flagship Pixel 4, is it Pixel 4 or the Pixel 5? I can't remember anymore. Pixel 4. The flagship current version of the Pixel is running at the same overall performance as their entry-level phone. And so I think what's happened is that if you're looking for a high-end phone, you're buying Samsung or you're buying one of these other really high-end phones with all the features, and they weren't competing well, I think, in the lower end space where there's more opportunity. And the lower end space is really saturated. What do you have down there? You've got Motorola, which is a Lenovo company. You've got Google now in that space. You've got a lot of players there. And then all the kind of the more commodity players too. It's really tough. All right, so this is the Power Vision Power Ray. And you can explore the underwater world. The max cruise speed, wow. Oh, I see. So I'm just looking. It could actually race. I don't know how you, because I don't think it's wireless, actually. I think you have to have it tethered. All right, so maybe we'll talk about some of the features of this as we're going through everything. Maybe I'll take a picture of this for B-roll. This will be a fun one, I think, to have. This might get me out of the basement. I'm just taking a picture of the specs here. So I can roll that in as B-roll maybe. Actually, I could probably just put this on screen. Let's do a little crop and zoom here. It's not a spectacular picture, but it might work. So I'm just going to move this over to my NAS, and then we can roll that in. All right, so let me pull that photo in so we can look at it. So go to Image, and I'll browse for that, and I'll go over to... Oh, Mark Dell's got to go do some work. See, Mark Dell, if you did what I did for a living, you could just sit in your basement all day and make YouTube videos. Think how cool your life would be. Yeah, that'll work. We'll see. It's not great, but all right. Let's. And Eric's Variety Channel is here. He's at work too. Everybody's at work today. I guess he probably would be during the middle of the week, right? KPI reports. Gotta love it. Hugo Craft is here. Hello. And Eric hasn't thought of Google Plus in a long time. Yeah, I liked Google Plus. You know, Google Plus, the Hangouts, they were doing Clubhouse before Clubhouse was doing Clubhouse. All right, let's get this unboxing done, and then so we've been streaming now. For how long have we been going? I've been going for? Doing okay, almost to 2 hours. So I'm doing okay. All right, let's try this thing out. This thing looks pretty. I'll tell you what, this looks cool. Hopefully, it works as cool as it looks. Does it have two? Oh, it's got a fish finder on it. Wow. This is going to be neat. It can go 30 meters. How many feet is that? 30 meters in feet. 98 feet? Seriously? Holy mackerel. How long is the cable? All right. This will be a fun one. Yeah, we'll try to stream this somehow. I'll figure out a way. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. I got this in the other day from the Amazon Vine program. This is the Power Ray Power Vision, or is it the Power Vision Power Ray? Let me see what this thing is called. Bear with me, folks. The reviews on this are mixed on Amazon, I should note. And I think what happens with these things is that they come out and then they kind of refine the software over time. It does do VR, so it does do a POV. And there's two versions. There's a Wizard and an Explorer. I'm not sure what the difference is. So it's got a 165-foot tether, 98 feet. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling down here to see exactly what... Wow, this is cool. Maybe I'll take... my dad's coming back this weekend, and he's... maybe we'll take it out in his boat. This is cool. I'm just looking through the specs here on Amazon. Yeah, I think this is going to be a little more involved than doing the basics. It's like, I don't think it's as easy as a drone, although it's probably easier to maneuver it because it's just a... Now it says it's got 4K. And it looks like, okay, so maybe the Wizard here is the one with the VR, and this one, okay, this one, so the Wizard comes with VR. I'm just going to look on their website here. I'm just trying to get more information about what we're looking at here. So here's it in action. It looks pretty cool, I got to say. The problem is I'll never see it actually, I won't see it doing this because I'm not getting in the water. And we would need, I probably need to go get a GoPro so I could take pictures of it underwater doing, I mean, that looks cool, like whatever its little jets are doing there. So I guess the two things on the front are lights and then one is a camera maybe? I have friends that are divers, so we should look into that. All right, so let's see what we have here. So they sell aerial drones also. So we have, this is the Power Ray. Explore the underwater world. Okay, so it's two lights and a... And actually the lights will attract fish. And it can stay 4 hours underwater, but I'm guessing if you're moving, so I guess if you just let it sit there and drift, it can do do that. And then it's got a remote control. I'm just looking through here to see what I can expect. Power vision. So you can do an FPV. That's pretty cool. I don't think I get that with mine though. You know, it's funny. This headset was going to be something else. I saw this at CES, and Zeiss was trying to do like one of these streaming things where you could connect with Steam over your phone and stream Steam VR to your phone, and then it would go. And the input latency was terrible on it, so it didn't quite work well. And then it's got a fish finder. Oh, it's an optional add-on component. Can detect fish 230 feet below the surface. So it's got like a, so it's basically be like the fish finder in your boat, but you could extend it out beyond the boat maybe. So I'm guessing that's on the bottom. Is that the bottom or the top? It must be the bottom, yeah. So the Wizard comes with the VR. I have the Explorer. I think that's the one they sent me. Let's see. This is, I guess we'll find out when we open it. Yeah, this is the Explorer version. So I have the Explorer version, which is the same thing, because DJI does this. They sell you like the package. So this is the one, this $100 more, you get, so you get a carrying case and the VR thing. The one I have, this is what we get with it. Okay. All right, let's do this. And this will be an upcoming video. This will take some time to test out. Let's see here. I'm just reading through some comments here to see if I missed anything. Red Hornet says that the reviews could be, yeah, there could be some operator error there. I think that's one of those things, is that there's an expectation with this stuff. And I think, you know, when you look at the DJI drones, they're so easy to fly, so much so that you get a bit of overconfidence, I think, in flying those things, that if it doesn't work exactly like that. And there's different physics involved with this, right? Because you've got to, I'm guessing in order for it to descend, it needs to take on ballast, right? You got to, I mean, there's more to it, right? It just doesn't go up and down. You got to wait, you got to sink. So I'm guessing it floats and then it doesn't float. So, you know, you got to keep it underwater at that depth. So yeah, we've got to learn how to play around with it. Don wants to know, can you attach lasers to it? I'm sure you could. You got to get waterproof lasers. But there you go. Bob Schindorf says, piques my interest when it can record VR. Yeah, I think it sounds like the version I have here doesn't have the VR headset, but I'm guessing there's got to be a way to, that's what we'll figure out in the process. You know, do the Google Cardboard thing with the phone. That'd be kind of neat, wouldn't it? Although it doesn't have a stereo camera, it's just a 2D, you know, single lens. And it's a little misleading here on the 4K, because the frame rate at 4K is only 25 frames per second. So this is probably going to be more useful at 1080p. Let me just double check that. Looking through the specs here. Yeah, so it looks like if you just sync it, you bring it down to a depth and leave it there, it'll run for 4 hours, they say. But that's sailing time, although I'm guessing, you know, we'll have to test it all out. Let's see here. I'm just looking through the rest of the specs. Yeah, you know, so here's the, here, let me show you my computer screen here with the, so this is one of those things where we got to talk about what are the standards by which we say that we can record 4K video, right? So check this out. Default, 4K, yes, but only 25 frames per second. So you're not getting 30 out of this, but that's the default. So I think what a lot of people will end up doing, even like 1440p, it's only 50. So for me, I probably will run it at 1080p 60, because you want that smooth, you know what I mean? Like you want the smoother motion, and you can't get to 30 at 4K. And you often wonder, like, what is the reason for that? Like, why couldn't they, like, is it a pricing thing? Like, what made them decide to go with the sensor they went with? Unless maybe these sensors for underwater are different than, I don't know. So we'll figure all that out. Okay, let me start recording here. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. We've got a product category that I haven't looked at before, which is an underwater drone. We've looked at a bunch of aerial drones over the years, but not something that goes in the water. And this is something from a company called Power Vision called the Power Ray. And this is an underwater drone. You can send it down to a depth of about 100 feet or 30 meters, and it's got a camera on board to record what it sees, all sorts of cool stuff, and this will be something we'll be reviewing in the near future. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in free of charge from the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor is anyone reviewing or approving it before it gets uploaded. So let's get into the box now and see what's inside. Okay. So let me just make sure that came out okay. And we'll say 300 intro. This is the Power Ray intro. Not bad, though. In the course of 2.5 hours, we'll have 3, 4 pieces of content for the Extras channel on Amazon. Not bad. Not a bad day for a day where I wasn't so motivated. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. We've got a product category that I haven't looked at before, which is an underwater drone. We've looked at a bunch of aerial drones over the years, but not something that goes in the water. And this is something from a company called Power Vision called the Power Ray. And this is an underwater drone. You can send it down to a depth of about 100 feet or 30 meters, and it's got a camera on board to record what it sees, all sorts of cool stuff, and this will be something we'll be reviewing in the near future. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in free of charge from the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor is anyone reviewing or approving it before it gets uploaded. So let's get into the box now and see what's inside. Okay. So we can pick it up from here. Chanfley, yes. So I should try one of these out. The new DJI FPV drone. Did you all see that, that shot of the volcano? Did you see that? If you haven't, look up drone volcano and you'll see it. It's from Iceland. And it's an amazing shot. He follows this river of lava right up to where it's coming out. And he was using the FPV drone for that. Yeah, they make some really cool stuff. All right. So let's take it out of the box. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what's in the box here. Now, this is the Explorer version. There's another one called the Wizard version, which I think is the same thing, but they give you a VR headset for an FPV perspective. This doesn't have that headset, and we'll see if there's a way to maybe do it with Google Cardboard or something. So it looks like it comes with a carrying case, which is nice to see here. So let me get the box out of the way without destroying the set. And let's open it up. I think it might be upside down, so let's put it around this way here and get it right side up. It looks like there's a couple of different things on. Oh, it looks like there's 2 openings here. So we'll take a look at the top part first, which is good because this is kind of the business end. And this is the drone itself. Now, what you'll see in the product specs is that it will record 4K video. But there's a catch to this because the 4K is maxed out at 25 frames per second. So you're not going to get a lot of smooth motion out of that. And that'll be something you'll see if you're looking at fish and things that are moving quickly. So to get the best frame rate, I think you're going to want to run it at 1080p. And it can do 60 frames per second max at that resolution. It'll also do 1440p at 50 frames per second. This is the drone itself. It's actually pretty heavy. And I'm guessing it must take on some ballast or something to go underwater. Now, they said there's an optional fish finder attachment that you can add to it that goes into this portion here at the top. So you can have it kind of extend out from your boat and look around for fish, although you could probably see them with the camera here on the front. And it looks like it's got 2 headlights on the front also, and that might attract some sea creatures to you as well. Now, this is not wireless. It's going to be tethered to your to whatever it connects to, which we'll see in a minute. I think it comes with a 165-foot cable. And then in the back here, you've got your maneuvering thrusters, because this is much different, of course, than a drone that we typically see with propellers. So you'll be using these thrusters to move around. What they say is that if you just drop it in the water and just let it sit there, it'll run for about 4 hours, but that battery life goes down significantly when you're using the thrusters and cruising around. It looks like there's nothing else in the top part of the case here, so I'm going to put this back in, and we're going to flip over the case and see what's on the other side. So let me do that now, and we'll see what else we got in here. All right. We're covering the basics pretty well, I think. There is a little packet of stuff in here. Let's see if there's anything, just the manuals and stuff. Oops. Bunch of manuals. Okay. I think we'll want to read all these. So I will take these and put them over here. It looks cool, doesn't it? It's like a little torpedo. All right. Can you imagine if it was wireless, you could just send it on autonomous missions? Although you'd have a hard time, I think, getting its position, right? Because there's no way you're going to pick up GPS down there. All right, so let's flip it over. And we'll just go back, and I just want to play back what I just did to make sure it's usable. So bear with me here for a second, folks. Okay, let's take a look at that. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what's in the box here. Now, this is the Explorer version. There's another one called the Wizard version, which I think is the same thing, but they give you a VR headset for an FPV perspective. This doesn't have that headset, and we'll see if there's a way to maybe do it with Google Cardboard or something. So it looks like it comes with a carrying case, which is nice to see here. So let me get the box out of the way without destroying the set. And let's open it up. I think it might be upside down, so let's put it around this way here and get it right side up. It looks like there's a couple of different things on. Oh, it looks like there's 2 openings here. So we'll take a look at the top part first, which is good because this is kind of the business end, and this is the drone itself. Now, what you'll see in the product specs is that it will record 4K video, but there's a catch to this because the 4K is maxed out at 25 frames per second. So you're not going to get a lot of smooth motion out of that, and that'll be something you'll see if you're looking at fish and things that are moving quickly. So to get the best frame rate, I think you're going to want to run it at 1080p, and it can do 60 frames per second max at that resolution. It'll also do 1440p at 50 frames per second. This is the drone itself. It's actually pretty heavy, and I'm guessing it must take on some ballast or something to go underwater. Now, they said there's an optional fish finder attachment that you can add to it that goes into this portion here at the top. So you can have it kind of extend out from your boat and look around for fish, although you could probably see them with the camera here on the front. And it looks like it's got 2 headlights on the front also, and that might attract some sea creatures to you as well. Now, this is not wireless. It's going to be tethered to your to whatever it connects to, which we'll see in a minute. I think it comes with a 165-foot cable. And then in the back here, you've got your maneuvering thrusters, because this is much different, of course, than a drone that we typically see with propellers. So you'll be using these thrusters to move around. What they say is that if you just drop it in the water and just let it sit there, it'll run for about 4 hours, but that battery life goes down significantly when you're using the thrusters and cruising around. It looks like there's nothing else in the top part of the case here, so I'm going to put this back in, and we're going to flip over the case and see what's on the other side. So let me do that now, and we'll see what else we got in here. Okay. There we go. Mark Dell wishes this. I'm surprised that YouTube doesn't do live captioning on this. Let's see what happens there. Okay. So let's go to this part here. And I'm going to bump the intensity of the light here a little bit. A little bit more light. That's nice. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what else we've got here. So let's take some of these things out. By the way, if you own one of these and you have some tips for me, definitely let me know, because I'm going to be taking this out to either the boat or the beach with me in the next couple of weeks to give this a shot. Now, I think this is the base station that the drone connects to, and then your controller connects wirelessly to this, and your phone is involved with this as well, similar to what you would see on a regular drone. So this is the base station. This looks like the power adapter and charger. And there are a couple of connectors here on this, which I'm guessing one of these will go to the drone itself. And we'll play around with that when we get into the full review. Get your power cable here. Here is what looks to me that, yep, this is the big spool of cable. So your drone is always tethered to this, which is probably a good way to go about things because you're not sure how much of a signal you can get 100 feet underwater. And it's good, too, that if worse comes to worse, you could probably pull the drone up with this. And it's nice to give you a little spool here so you can spool it back up, although you probably want to get that cable dried off as it's coming back in. And then you've got a phone holder, and then you've got the remote control here. And so your phone will sit up on this, and you'll get the video images back from the drone, and you've got the remote here to control it. So I've got a lot of homework to do on this one to learn how all of this works. I think it's a little more involved than some of these DJI drones that have kind of spoiled us for a while. So I'll be doing some research on this and playing around with it a little bit. Maybe I'll put it in the bathtub or something first to just get a feel for how it works. And we'll have a full review at some point, probably in the next month or two. It's starting to warm up here where I live, so I can get into the water and pull it out if I need to. So stay tuned. I would love to hear some ideas from you all as to what I should be looking to do with this. So let me know down in the comments section. And until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right. That should work. What do you think, everybody? We'll see what we can do here. I don't do a lot of giveaways, partly because there's legal issues that I don't want to have to deal with. And a lot of the stuff that I get in is on loan. This is the exception. These things here are not. But this thing I'm probably going to want to hold on to for a while because it's kind of fun. It looks fun. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what else we've got here. So let's take some of these things out. By the way, if you own one of these and you have some tips for me, definitely let me know. Because I'm going to be taking this out to either the boat or the beach with me in the next couple of weeks to give this a shot. Now, I think this is the base station that the drone connects to, and then your controller connects wirelessly to this, and your phone is involved with this as well, similar to what you would see on a regular drone. So this is the base station. This looks like the power adapter and charger, and there are a couple of connectors here on this, which I'm guessing one of these will go to the drone itself. And we'll play around with that when we get into the full review. Get your power cable here. Here is what looks to me that, yep, this is the big spool of cable. So your drone is always tethered to this, which is probably a good way to go about things because you're not sure how much of a signal you can get 100 feet underwater. And it's good, too, that if worse comes to worse, you could probably pull the drone up with this. And it's nice to give you a little spool here so you can spool it back up, although you probably want to get that cable dried off as it's coming back in. And then you've got a phone holder, and then you've got the remote control here. And so your phone will sit up on this, and you'll get the video images back from the drone, and you've got the remote here to control it. So I've got a lot of homework to do on this one to learn how all of this works. I think it's a little more involved than some of these DJI drones that have kind of spoiled us for a while. So I'll be doing some research on this and playing around with it a little bit. Maybe I'll put it in the bathtub or something first to just get a feel for how it works. And we'll have a full review at some point, probably in the next month or two. It's starting to warm up here where I live, so I can get into the water and pull it out if I need to. So stay tuned. I would love to hear some ideas from you all as to what I should be looking to do with this. So let me know down in the comments section. And until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, I think we're good. There we go. All right. Yeah, so the way the Amazon Vine program works, Mark Dell, is everything you can hold on to, although it's not entirely free because they report the value to the IRS. So I have to pay taxes on the value of the things that they send in, which, by the way, I have to do for everything. Everything that's not on loan, I got to pay taxes on. So I report all of that, and this stuff gets reported, so it's up there. Mark Dom says bonus points if we get this thing lost in a tree. You know, I could probably make that happen. No question. So yeah, we will definitely. This will be one of those things that takes a while to get figured out. But yeah, and we're gonna have this channel is gonna become just the bathtub channel. I'll be in my bathtub all the time. That's it. Mark Dell wants to see the dog playing with the yeah. The dog does not like the propeller drones, nor do the children. I was chasing the kids around with it. That didn't go well. Redacted is back here again. Hello. All right. Yeah. So I've got some cool stuff I can do with it. I'm going to reach out to my buddy who he has a marine company. He might find some use for this too. So maybe I'll get this thing set up and figure out if he's got any interest in this. He often does. He often has to dive to inspect boats and stuff. This might be really useful for him to have to avoid having to go dive for something. So I might have him take it for a couple days and get some footage with it after we run it out on its shakedown cruise. All right. Well, it is 3:30, so I want to go and do some editing. I know Jake is Jake is going to send me another edit. So we have that Lenovo laptop that I shot yesterday. And I think he was going out to get his first shot today, so he's a little backed up, but he will be, well, he's not backed up, but you know what I mean, he's backed up time-wise. So when he gets back, he's going to edit that thing. And yeah, this will be a fun one. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that a bit. And yeah, so we'll see what else happens here. So leave me some comments down below. And by the way, if you're curious, most of the stuff I don't hang on to. So what happens is, like, I'm not sitting in a room. I am sitting in a room full of tech, but not as much as you'd think. So typically what I do is I try to find a home for everything. A lot of the stuff most of the stuff that I buy that I'm not going to use, I resell through our store there that we've done before. And then the free stuff, typically the process with the free stuff is I look around locally. So we have a lot of nonprofits, obviously, in the area. So if some nonprofit needs something, they get it. So if they, whatever it is. So I have a couple printers that are going to the school system. So I try to do that because I think that's a good use for a lot of these things. And then, some of the stuff ends up becoming part of the workflow. So, those things like the hard drives, I always keep the hard drives because those are really useful for doing stuff. The Legion Dual 2 is the phone. Yeah, let me reach out to my friends at Lenovo and see if they have something. Let me take a look at that real quick here. Yeah, so I will keep you all posted on that front. I'm just looking up something in my email real quick here. All right. Well, everybody, I think I got everything I wanted to accomplish here, but I will let you know. BB Garnett was asking about the Amazon Vine stuff, whether or not you could sell it. Actually, I don't like to do that, but you can sell it after a certain length of time. They have an agreement that you follow. So I think the way it used to be was that you get you own it after 6 months. So then you can do what you want with it. And initially they didn't want you doing that, but what's happened because they're reporting everything to the IRS, you want to, you can either convert it, so you can convert it to cash basically, right? So you could sell it and then you pay income tax either way. What I have been doing is for the things that I don't end up using here, I find a home with a nonprofit somewhere, so you can donate it if you want to do something like that. Because what I want to avoid is just because people could buy it and like just resell it and profit. You know what I mean? Like it's not how these things are supposed to end up in places. So typically, what I do is I find a home. With sometimes a friend needs it, locally, whatever. So that's kind of the process I usually go with it. But I don't think I can do giveaways with it. And the giveaways are really difficult because channels do it all the time, but you got to be really careful in how you do it. And on a couple of different areas. There's very strict rules about, at least here in the United States, about gambling. It's the prize, chance, and consideration stuff, right? So, by asking someone to do something, so let's put it this way. If I was to say, I'm going to do a giveaway just for my paying Patreon subscribers, that's illegal because someone's paying to be part of the consideration, right? So you can get into trouble with that. From a fairness perspective, in some of the giveaways that I've done, I've found people entering multiple times as different email addresses. It's like almost impossible to police all of that. And then the other issue you run into is that YouTube has gotten really stringent on giveaways insofar as subscriber status, because they view that as an artificial way of growing your subscriber number. So they've kind of cracked down on channels, even channels that were doing things correctly. They were still hitting them too, because there's the people, they employ these people just to look for this stuff, and their job is to find it. So they're going to see somebody doing a giveaway, ding them, right? So I just didn't want to deal with the risk and everything else, so I just kind of avoided that. One thing I do occasionally do is, if I can't find a home for it, I will offer it for the price of shipping to sometimes to the paid membership. Sometimes I just put it up on the YouTube store. So we've done that. And then occasionally, that's usually how I do it, is I'll sell it for the price of shipping just to get it out of here. So if you are not subscribed to the store email, you might want to subscribe to that. But I'm really careful about it because I just don't want to deal with it. And like I said, I saw so many people trying to game the giveaways, and I have no way of just making sure that each person is coming in is legit, right? Without creating it's too much. And there's not much to be gained by it, because what happens is that when you announce a giveaway, people are searching for giveaways all the time on YouTube, so you're not picking up audience that's there for you. It just, none of it seems to work really well. But Mark's right. If you're buying it, it's a different story. So if you're offering it for sale, and I think that's one way to make it work better. So I'll do that occasionally. This though, I think what I'll end up with this, if I don't keep it, my friend with the marine business could probably get a lot of use out of that. So I try to spread the love locally a little bit if I can. So that's the scoop. All right. Yeah, so here's another thing that Mark brings up, and that's the other challenge, is how do you get the YouTube, how do you verify that, right? So, because I could have multiple, a verified YouTube person would be what? We could verify against the account, the YouTube account, but if they have multiple YouTube accounts, that's hard. There are services that you can use to do the giveaways and whatever, but there's just so much legal risk, and then risks to the channel, that I'm it's just not worth it to go through all of that. And like I said, I get rid of most of what most of the stuff here finds a home eventually. So that is how it works out. But if you subscribe to that store alert thing, you'll get notified when we've got something. And like I said, occasionally we'll do some cost of shipping giveaways and that sort of thing. So we do that sometimes. Oh, yeah, Mark says you have to have the check mark. That would definitely narrow it down. But then it would just be the YouTube elitists who would have access. So you see what I mean? See how hard this stuff is? It's just so hard to do. All right. So I am going to call it an afternoon. But thank you all for tuning in. And we'll figure out what we do from here. So yeah, this will be a fun one. So this will be a while before you see this one, because I've got to figure out how to. I have not reviewed an underwater anything before, so that's a whole new thing for me. I got to think about what the features are, how to demo them, and everything else. And then we got to get a lot of B-roll collected from it, so this will be a little while. All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I enjoy doing these things with you. They're fun. And we'll be back again in the near future. And Chris Allegretta is only interested in the crypto giveaways. I'm going to give away one 1/millionth of a Bitcoin next week. So be on the lookout. All right, everybody. Catch you all on the flip side. I'm going to go take the dog for a walk and edit some stuff. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye.